All right, so today I am joined by infamous makeup artist Kályd Odeh. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. And congratulations on your 2024 Emmy nomination.
It's kind of surreal. I'm still like pinching myself every morning since it's happened. And then I have such an amazing support system around me that's constantly reminding me, and I'm just still don't know how to even take that in. So I'm super,
Mhm.
super.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine how meaningful this is for you right now. Now,
Thank
now you are nominated for outstanding makeup for a variety, nonfiction, or reality program for HBO's We're Here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what has the experience of working on that show been like for you, and how did you initially get involved with the project?
Oh, it's so crazy. I remember going to the premiere when the show first started, and being knowing a lot of the girls, a lot of the queens, also living in LA and being in the square space. When I first heard about it, I was super, super excited. And when I got to go to the premiere and actually see the show for the first time, I was like, it's about time that something like this, is existing because I've kind of lived all over in the country and have experienced different things. But it's amazing to have something shine a light on what's really, really happening because we're living in California and nobody really knows what's really going on.
Mhm.
But I went to the premiere, fell in love, and then fast forward like a couple of years later, I was currently on tour and I can't even remember which tour I was on, and I got a call from Priyanka, and she was like, "Hey, don't say anything, but I think I just got this,
Mhm.
to work. We're here, and they're asking me who would I want as my makeup artist and to work on the show." And she's like, "I want nobody but you." So that was one, flattering. Two, felt amazing because I really wanted to be involved in this somehow or another. So I feel like manifesting and being at the right place at the right time kind of, happened,
Mhm.
which is surreal.
Definitely, and led you to an Emmy nomination. That's awesome.
Which is
So,
also another thing. It's crazy. And
yes.
also, Priyanka predicted too, because like jokingly around when I officially said, "Yeah, okay, that's great. Yep, I cleared my schedule. I can make it happen." She's just like, "Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be your date for the Emmys." And I was just like, "Okay," like that was so weird, but here we are.
There we are. That's awesome. So, what kind of impact do you believe that the show is making?
Um, I really feel like it's making a huge impact because it's really shedding light on what's really happening. And what's different about this season than the seasons in the past, I feel like it's been like where every episode was kind of like a different city, different story, which of course is insane. But I think what happened this year is we were able to be it was 6 episodes this season, and
Mhm.
we were able to be there for, or the girls mostly and the crew were there for a month per city.
Mhm.
So you're kind of diving deep into really what's going on in that city or with those drag kids,
Mhm.
um and really kind of find out what is the root of the problem and what's really happening versus just like, oh, they just don't want us here or whatever. And I think having being there for that long, you're really kind of, your eyes are kind of open to see what's happening and also kind of figuring out what little difference we can even make to kind of move that needle into a better space for everybody to coexist.
Yeah, for sure.
Respectfully.
Definitely. Definitely. So, Khalid, you have 20 years of beauty industry experience, but you've truly come into your own over the past 3 years, becoming the go-to makeup artist for several high-profile celebrity clients. So, first off, has makeup always been your passion? Is this something you always wanted to pursue?
It wasn't. I was going to school actually for marketing and advertising, and I was a spoiled little brat where my parents kind of took care of everything. But then finally, sophomore year, they were like, you know what? You need to get a real job to get work ethic, understand how the world works, because I really didn't. And I was going to school in Dubuque, Iowa, in college there, and the only two things that were hiring was either a barista at a local coffee shop, not even a Starbucks, for like $4, I
Yeah.
think made sense,
Mhm.
an hour, or there was like a department store that was hiring for like $11 and some change plus like a 2% commission. I'm like, obviously I was gonna go there.
Mhm.
And I remember in the interview process, the guy was asking me like, what work experience do you have and this and that. And I said, well, I don't have any. And he goes, well, why makeup? And I'm like, it was the only job that was open. And he just thought it very, and then I told him a story about how like, well, my parents did. And he found it very endearing in the fact that I was just honest about it. A month later, he called me back. He goes, I keep thinking about you every time I interview somebody. So don't touch the makeup, just sell the makeup. And then, And from there on, it kind of just snowballed and kind of fell in love with the craft. And I remember one time going to a book signing. I flew all the way to California for Kevin Aquan. He was releasing his books. And in that little short meeting that we had, I kind of expressed to him like how I wanted to be. And he kind of like taught me some things and, and kind of helped me out a little bit in the industry and kind of like, and that kind of stuck out and then got into the fashion world and cosmetics and the rest is history, I guess.
Everything just kind of snowballed for you.
Yeah, yeah, what's meant to be is meant to be. Whether you're looking for it or not, I think, somebody up there or the universe or energy is just kind of always has a calling for you.
Definitely, I agree. And when was the moment you started to really become recognized by Hollywood?
Um, I feel like it was while I was the color expert and the national makeup artist for Chanel.
Okay.
And at that, I had already started working with obviously some celebrities, but it was like, it was then that I kind of like, people started taking notice. And then after that, after I left those companies, I then started working with a lot of the drag queens
Mhm.
and fell in love with that whole side of things and also elevating the artistry because it's a different type of makeup. And from there it's just kind of like snowballed and it became
Yeah.
kind of like the go-to guys to uh make men look like beautiful women, I guess.
Yes. And you even did makeup for RuPaul herself, right?
No, I've
Okay.
never worked, I never did makeup on her, but I did a makeup on the show for a
Okay.
lot of it. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Nice. Well, you did gain quite a bit of attention last year by doing Melissa McCarthy's makeup for WeHo Pride. What was that like?
Incredible. I mean, she was so cool. And funny enough, we found out when we were doing makeup that we went to the same high school in Plainfield,
Nice.
which was kind of crazy. But it all came about. I was actually on the red carpet with Nina West, who's a very close friend of mine, and we were on the premiere for The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And their paths crossed, and they had this incredible, moment on the red carpet, and I was there, and we kind of met up, and then shortly after, I guess she was really impressed with the way Nina's makeup looked on the red carpet and somehow went through the grapevine and trying to find out who I am and where I can, be reached. And it all happened so quickly. I mean, I remember I was doing a job in Florida, and the next thing I know is like, hey, this happened and this was going on. You need to fly right away. And I literally just dropped everything and
Drop it all.
and also because I'm such a huge fan of Melissa, she's
Mhm.
uh, incredibly talented, so funny. But then when you meet her and get to know her actually a little bit on a personal level, you really realize how incredible she is as a human being. So I was
Yeah,
very happy to do that.
I bet. She just seems so warm and genuine and like she could be anyone's friend.
Truly, honestly, I mean, I thought it was like acting at first, but then as the day kept going and we hung out, and I was able to walk alongside her at the parade, I just got to see all the different levels and sides of her, and it was all pretty consistent.
Yeah.
She's just genuine and a normal person, but also just wildly hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. And you're also the go-to makeup artist for Paula Abdul, is that correct?
I am. She's also has become one of my best friends, and she's incredible because also the story of manifesting. I showed her a picture of me when I was 8 years old in my bedroom, and because me and my sisters were all kind of always trying to audition for Star Search, but never really actually did the audition. We would just do that every night. And I showed her a poster of her and it was kind of really really crazy because at that time I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but there wasn't many people that looked like me, and having her be having part of like a Middle Eastern descent, like I really kind of gravitated towards because I realized that hey, somebody out there can look like me and do what I want to do, not necessarily sing and dance, but be in the arts field. And we met and we started working together, and the rest is history. Actually, I was just with her last night. I just got back into town and she took me out last night for dinner for my birthday. And,
Oh,
we
happy
were just,
birthday.
thank you, thank you, thank you. So it was really, really cool. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
And she's incredible. She's super kind.
I bet. Yeah. Again, another one who just seems so warm and genuine, be anyone's friend. Yeah, because I follow a lot of these celebrities, and it's like a lot of people are kind of like think that these people are very standoffish and unapproachable, but there are many out there who are the complete opposite.
True. I mean, I agree with that. I feel like a nice person is a nice person and a
Mm,
bad person is a bad person, whether they are a king, a homeless person, a regular person, or a celebrity. There's
yeah.
no, It's just a person is a person. So I'm lucky
Exactly.
that I'm able to be in a place in my career where I'm able to pick and choose who I want to be
Mhm.
working with. And luckily, like it tends to be, on the same level of frequency that I'd like to be on.
For sure. Who would you love to do makeup for someday?
Oh gosh, that's really, really hard. That's really hard. I mean, honestly, like right now, I'm obsessed and loving Sabrina Carpenter. I think she just
Okay.
has this like, there's some people that have like great faces for makeup,
Mhm.
and I feel like she has that face for makeup where you can kind of do so many things with. I'd love to, and I also like to work on not just say young, fresh skin. I like to be all across the board. So anywhere from say Meryl Streep to Angelina Jolie to Glenn Close to Sabrina and the
Mhm.
Pussycat Dolls. Why not?
Yes, definitely. And is there a certain brand or yeah, a certain brand you would love to work with sometime?
Um, See, that's very hard because I feel like my career kind of took off working for Dior for
Mhm.
5 years, and then after that, I worked with Chanel for 11 years after that. So, in different positions. Um, so I feel like I've got to touch and play with and be heavily involved in two of the biggest,
Yeah.
fashion houses and also biggest makeup brands. But ultimately, I think I would like to dive deep and be part of like the Huda Beauty team. I love everything that she
Yeah.
stands for, and also her products are great. Um, Patrick Ta also like I just love the queer space of it, and his whole stand behind the beauty industry, and so I'm really kind of like all over the board. I don't like to discriminate in any shape or form because I don't feel like one brand has the all
Yeah.
best of
Yeah.
everything. I think a lot of brands have such star
Mhm.
components that I'm always dabbling here and dabbling there and dabbling everywhere.
Yes, dabble in everything. That's when the opportunities will come.
Of course. I mean, yes, it's just as long as you believe in it and you actually like the product.
Yes, yes, exactly. So Colin, how would you say you stand out from other makeup artists? Like, what exactly is your approach?
I, my approach is I know it sounds funny, but I always like to lead with kindness. And I always like to, no matter, working on a celebrities to somebody that I'm just meeting down the street, I like to approach everybody the same way.
Mhm.
Uh, just always lead with kindness and always understand kind of like sometimes somebody has a bad day, so don't necessarily judge them based off that. And I have this kind of sense of really kind of allowing the person to open up to me somehow. And before we know it, by the time we're done, we're going out to dinner or we're going grabbing coffee. And it seems to be a little bit of a superpower of mine. I think people kind of see right through me and see that I'm not trying anything, other than just to be genuine in the moment.
Yeah.
Um, because I hear this time and time again that like people really enjoy working with me because oh, I'm nice and I don't have necessarily like a diva behavior, and and in this space it can have that. But
Yeah. Mhm.
just you treat me with kindness, I'm gonna treat you with kindness right back.
Exactly. That's the best thing you can ask for. Yes. Well, what are some future goals you hope to accomplish with your career and platform?
Um, I do have some major ones, that I'm currently working on, but I can't really say just yet.
Okay.
But something I would love to get more heavily involved in is with Disney, specifically the MCU. I
Okay.
love anything to do with the Marvel world. I am a little bit of a nerd in that sense and grew
Love
up
it.
that. But I've done a few things for them, and I want to kind of continue that journey because it's something that I love and I'm very passionate about. But red carpets are always fun, and I have little private projects that are happening, but can't really tell you on that. But hopefully, this time next year, we'll be having a conversation again, and I'll be
Yes.
like, remember when?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Well, how can one stay up to date with you the best?
Um, the best I would feel is probably on Instagram on kalydodeh.com. Now it's tricky because it's not spelled the way my name is. So it's Callit. So call it Odeh, Odeh, which is my last name, which is a kind of a play on my name is Kályd Odeh. So call it Odeh. So
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
um Well, the Emmys is freaking happening right now, but
Yeah.
then at the same time, we're also doing the super I'm trying to think, the Hollywood Bowl,
Okay.
where Paula Abdul and Boy Sima will be playing, which is gonna be cool. It's gonna be like a 3-day event. So I'm
Nice.
super excited with that because it's also my era. So like it's always a party.
All right. Fantastic.